Hello. Hi. Don't worry, I just want to tell you a story. It's a short story. A love story from music that leads us to many other stories. Do you want to hear it?
I'm waiting for you.
My love for music started when I was 6 years old with a piano and my own voice. Although I probably didn't practice enough, I loved singing and playing the piano. When I was 11 years old, I decided to start playing the clarinet. I had an excellent mentor, Joseph Orlowski, who later on went to play with the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. Joe believed in me and supported me and encouraged me to become a professional clarinet player. But I was just a kid, and at that time I didn't take it very seriously. I just wanted to have fun. I did join the high school band. On the first day of band, I entered the music room and I saw a drum kit in the corner. I was fascinated. It looked so cool. I wanted to play the drums. But for some reason, maybe subliminally, I thought the drums were not a girl's instrument, so I stuck to my clarinet and a little later on also took up the saxophone. I continued singing in musicals and playing the clarinet and saxophone in university and beyond. In my 20s, my mother decided to take up drumming. She was in her 50s. I witnessed as she dedicated herself full-time to studying the drums for about 3 years before she established her own jazz band, and then she began playing around Ottawa. I have to say my mom was cooler than me back then. I kept up with my music for several years as a pastime, on and off, but nothing extraordinary happened. My ex-husband, who was a drummer, said to me one day, I don't think you should try drumming, you're not coordinated." Well, that sentence was the incentive to try it, or maybe it was the excuse I was waiting for. I threw myself onto that instrument. I started practicing every day, and within a couple of weeks I was playing some simple rock beats and drumming along to some simple tunes. I tell you, I fell in love with it right away. I really love the feeling of power, the variety, and the physicality of drumming. It was so special. I decided I've got to learn from the best, so I flew across the country to study with Mike Machine Mallet, who holds world records for his speed. I studied intensively with him for a couple of weeks and came back with a few rudiments under my belt, and from then on, everything was rock and roll. I formed my own band, Restless Soul, started gigging around Ottawa, and I was passionate. I loved it. I felt this unique emotion I'd really never felt for an instrument before, for some sort of music. I wanted to know if other women felt the same way as I did, so I decided to seek them out in my region. I wanted to ask them what challenges they may have faced as female drummers, or if they've faced any at all. I wanted to talk to them, listen to them, and learn from them. I wanted to understand their perspectives and their experiences as drummers. I also wanted to establish a dialogue to discover what unites us with this special sisterhood. This led me to make a brief documentary in 2017. I featured 8 female drummers in my area, including me and my mom. Even though it was a brief documentary, the stories were very poignant and interesting. I could see from these interviews how committed these women were to their instrument, to drumming and to music. The documentary was relatively successful. I received many messages of support, so I thought maybe I should go a step further and make a public call to make a second documentary that would involve more drummers. I posted a message on Drummer Girls United. This is a Facebook page started by Tammy Mitchell-Woods, a US-based drummer. She united probably hundreds of female drummers from around the world. I received hundreds of comments and voices of support for this project, so I started on the adventure. It led me to conduct interviews in Los Angeles, in Chicago, in New Jersey, Montreal, Ottawa, and beyond. And I did many of the interviews online. These interviews are full of stories about the love for music and drumming, some of the challenges these people have faced. It also offers practical advice from experienced drummers, both male and female. These women and men inspire us to learn and endure in this beautiful world of music. It's a great honor for me to present their testimonies. Chapter 1, My Love Story. Fate and the love for music and drumming are completely intertwined. Every drummer has a story and each one is fascinating. Let's witness their passion and the circumstances that led them to the wonderful world of music.
Hi, my name is Marla Lee, and I am a professional percussionist based in Southern California. I started when I was 1.
I started drumming around when I was 12 years old. All my family were musicians.
Hey, my name is Lindsay Martin. I'm 25 years old. I've been playing for 16 years.
Hi, I'm Tammy Mitchell-Woods. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I've been drumming since I was 12 years old.
I've been playing drums since the age of 5, so it's been a long time, 23 years, 24 years now.
I started playing drums when I was about 2 years old. My dad's a musician, so we would have like drums laying around the house.
Lisa Marie Mestis, and I started drumming at the age of 10.
I got started really late, as you know. I started when I was trying to think, I think around 47, maybe 46, somewhere in there.
Megan Thomas, and I started drumming, I guess, fifth grade band.
My name is Melanie Kramer, and I am the drummer for the band Circe, and that is the only band I have ever played drums for. So I have been drumming really since then. I'm self-taught.
My name is Brittany Macarello, but I go by Brittany Mac. I started out drumming when I was 3.
2005, I started playing. Never had a drum lesson, just, kind of got into it. Just thought it was a fun little hobby, and, I've been with Hair Nation for about 10 years now.
My name is Angela Gambino from Pro Player Art in Chicago.
My name is Dan Schinder. April 2019 will be 49 years that I've been playing drums.
Hi, I'm Peyton Taylor. I'm 17 years old and I've been playing for 6 years.
I'm Emily and I've been drumming for 3 or 4 years.
Hello, I'm Tasha Jones. I live in LA and I've been drumming technically since I was 12.
Hi, my name is Portia and I just turned 13.
How long have you been drumming, Portia?
I've been drumming for about 1.5 years.
Hi, my name is Anna Trujillo. I'm from Riverside, California, and I've been drumming for over 20 years off and on.
My name's Alex and I'm 17 years old.
And how long have you been drumming, Alex?
4 years.
Hey, I'm Sam Landa. I've been playing drums for 20 years, and I live in Montreal, Canada.
Hi, I'm Debbie Flood, and I'm a drummer that is currently located in Nashville, Tennessee, as well as Richmond, Virginia. I kind of am bi-city right now.
My name is Danielle Barkman. I am an audio engineer, a music producer, and I'm also a drummer.
My name is Colleen Patos, and I'm 61 years old, and I'm a female drummer.
Hi, my name is Jen Yates, and I am a female drummer based in the Kentucky area. I didn't choose drumming. Drumming chose me, because I started at age 3.
What's your full name?
Jackie Chan.
Okay, Jackie. Man, I didn't know you had multiple skills, man.
Oh, all right. So my name is Craig Cedarholm, and let's see. I was like 9 when I started.
I'm Chrissy. I currently am a professional drummer in an all-female cover band called the Cougars.
My name is Jason Gianni. I'm from New Jersey, and I live back here after living out in California for about 10 years. I've been playing since I was 11 years old, and I'm 40 years old now. So I've been playing over 30-something years.
Hi, my name is Z Johnson. I love jazz. I played in a jazz ensemble and a jazz orchestra for many years during college.
Maureen Brown from Canada. I'm a professional drummer. I've been playing since 1967. I'm married to a fabulous drummer, Rick Gratton, author of Rick Slicks. And I am the first drummer to ever win the Maple Blues Award for Drummer of the Year, which is a Canadian-wide award. I won the first 3 years in a row. I'm still playing professionally today with the Maureen Brown Band and a number of other local bands in the area.
I started really young, so I started probably when I was, I think, 3.
My name is Jara, drummer, educator, singer, songwriter, and I'm from Montreal.
My name is Liz Ficalora. I started drumming in 71, really 71. I was 16.
I started playing drums unofficially when I was about 5 and officially when I was about 9. I do it because I've always just tapped on desks and felt connected to it ever since.
What is up, drummers? My name is Jules. I'm from Brick, New Jersey, and I live next to a town called Wall. So that's a fun fact about me. I've been playing drums for 7-8 years technically, but like really playing, I would say probably about 5 or 6 where I've been taking it seriously.
I'm April Samuels, a drummer out of Dallas, Texas, a breast cancer survivor and the founder of Breast Cancer Can Stick It.
I started drumming when I was 15, and so I'm 37 now.
My name is Terry Harper, and I actually got interested in drums in about 8th grade.
I've been playing professionally for over 40 years now, and I've been very fortunate to play with tremendous musicians both in Canada and in the States.
Well, I started music early in life. I was about 5 years old when I started taking piano lessons.
My name is Kaylee Preston, and I've been drumming for 15 years.
What's your first name?
Claire.
How old are you, Claire?
I'm 12. I've been drumming since September 2018.
What got you into drumming?
My dad, actually. I originally started out with piano, and I kind of got over it. And then he threw some Led Zeppelin on for me, and that was it. As soon as I heard the drums, it was like a done deal. Ever since that, here I am.
No. My mom wanted me to play piano. When I was about 6 years old, I was in piano lessons because she's a pianist. I hated it. And my grandfather's a guitarist, and he wanted me in guitar lessons, so I did that for about a year, and I didn't like that either. So at about 12, I kept begging my parents for a drum set.
I was a violinist. I started playing violin in 3rd grade. I was 7 years old. So I've been reading, music for a long time. And just, musically, there's something about the drums. And I think probably, people that are really in tune with them or just like the raw sound, the power, when you hear and see actual drumming happening, it's just like, I was amazed that people could do that much with so many different limbs at one time, right?
I've been teaching for a few years on and off, and I played professionally since, I was 14, my first paid gig. So it's been a few years now.
I started playing in this band at about age 5. And it was really funny because he did not want me to play drums. He wanted me to be a singer and songwriter and play piano as well. And he said, you know what, drummers are always at the back. They have to carry so much gear. And he's like, Sarah, I don't want you to suffer. And singers get the most attention and they get the most money. So he told me, if you want to pursue drumming, try and become a drummer artist. I started in a little weird way. I was never given books. I didn't touch a book till I was in university, but I learned from listening to different records. I started listening to a bunch of Indian music because of my dad. That was the only genre I was exposed to.
10 years old, I started in the 5th grade, and I started on the snare drum. I was part of the Fab Five group in 5th grade. I'll never forget it, and I just never stopped, never. Before I got a drum set, I would set up pillows over books. I'd wrap towels around books, and I set up a whole little drum set in my room. And I'd be like, and I'd just be rocking out in my room until I got a drum set, of course.
Couldn't quite find my instrument. I loved music so much that I thought, for sure guitar, as a teenager. And I think it was it was too technical. There wasn't enough physical energy in it. And so once I just started dreaming about the drums a couple years ago and finally made it happen, I'm like, this is it. This is my instrument. So
5th grade, when it was time to pick an instrument, I wanted to play drums, but they were like, you need 2 years of piano. So I played saxophone. And then in high school, what really happened was I quit band, and then the high school band teacher called me and was like, hey, I saw you were in band, but you quit, and I was wondering if you'd want to join back up. We're going on a really cool band trip to Toronto, and it's really fun. And I literally was like, only if you let me play drums.
Why I started, I was just drawn to the drums. I've never really had a good explanation for that question. It's always I think it chose me more than I chose it. I studied music in college and got a music degree.
So it's a newer instrument to me. I've been singing my whole life, but drums actually came around, maybe 2003 I started.
And you have a unique setup with a standing drum kit. How did that evolve?
We started playing as an acoustic duo, and I'm a singer-songwriter. I think of myself as a singer-songwriter who happens to play the drums. We tried to play as a 4-piece band for a little while, and we had some really great people that played with us, but it was always like a rotating, band membership, and never really landed on anything solid. So the two of us said, well, let's figure out how to be a 2-person band but sound like a 4-person band. So Rich said, well, you always mess around with percussion and stuff, and you always come up with a lot of the drum beat ideas. I think you should be the drummer. And I said, all right.
My dad is a drummer and his grandfather was a drummer. I'm from New York originally, and so my great grandfather was a drummer for the big bands in New York City. The drums were always around. I just gravitated towards it, I guess, and I've been playing ever since. And I'm 28 now, so.
When I was a little kid, I had an older cousin, and I saw him play drums. He was like 13, 14. I see what he's doing, and I hear this stuff called music. I asked my parents if I could take drum lessons, and they were crazy enough to say yes, and they got me a practice pad, and I started taking drum lessons. And shortly after that, they were crazy enough to get me my first drum kit. There's nothing like playing music. You can't really equate it to anything else,
I started dancing at 5, and up until I was about 20 years old, I went to Performing Arts Academy. I was a dance major, and I played the drums in an 80s hair metal band. It's pretty awesome.
I want to be in a band, so the quickest vehicle to be in a band was the drum set, because my dad was a drummer. My dad said, oh no, you're gonna have to really study. So he put me on a practice pad, metronome. And the whole time I was playing percussion also.
When I play, it's like with the music, I just want to play more.
What kind of music do you like to play to?
Rock music.
So for me, I have been drumming many years, so now it's probably, I would say about over 40 years, a little over 40 years for me. I still love it, and I've played in all kinds of bands. When I was a kid, I played in concert band and marching band and things like that. I always played in rock bands, always loved rock music. Did a lot of original bands growing up in the LA area.
Well, I first started out playing piano, and I was playing classical music, and then I joined the School of Rock, and that really introduced me to more instruments, and I just started exploring new instruments, and I fell in love with drums. My parents are the most supportive parents. I'm so lucky to have them. My mom's over there. She don't want to be on camera. I'm gonna expose her right now, saying she's standing right there. But yeah, no. She's like, no. I'm so thankful to have supportive parents, because I know a lot of people aren't supportive of their kids being musicians because it's such a hard industry, but I'm very thankful.
At 3, I asked for a drum kit, and my mom and dad got me a Fraggle Rock Toys R Us drum kit, and I obviously grew from there. And then elementary school, I got the snare drum, and I would ride my bike with my snare drum case one-handed to practice in the summertime. It was awesome. That was about 11.
Why did you take up the drums?
Because they looked fun. I tried ukulele for a while. It was really hard, so I thought drums looked fun.
With my parents, so my mom was in the music industry on the business side, and she did business management for Journey for 20-something years, and Neil Sean, and then my dad is a drummer, percussionist. I grew up with my mom, but still heavily involved in music, and we always went to shows, and there was always music in the house, and then I decided to major in music.
Why did you take up drumming?
Honestly, I really liked rock band. My family and I would always play it, and I was always the drummer, and sometimes I'd sing at the same time, and then I started here as a singer, and then I was talking to one of the drum teachers, who's my current drum teacher, and he was like, try it. And I did, and here I am.
Why did you start drumming?
Because I like Peter Criss from Kiss. So my brother and sister, they were stuck on the piano. I had to play piano. And then came the drums. So then it all started, 4th grade.
I started drumming when I was 12 or 13 years old, and I did it kind of to rebel a little bit, I think. My friend who was playing drums, and her parents were getting upset about how loud it was, so I thought I'll only try to make my parents a little upset. It failed, thank God, because I ended up loving the drums, and my parents really were very supportive of it, so I was very grateful for all of that, especially my mom's support of my drumming.
I was in the other room. I was little. I was like 6. And my dad said, come here. So I went into the room and he said, watch this man. And it was Buddy Rich playing drums. I was mesmerized. And I thought, I want to be something like that.
I started playing drums back when I was about 5 or 6 years old. My mom took me to see a local band playing at a car lot down the street. And when I saw the drummer up there banging on those bright red drums, I was attracted to it. I don't know, it was just what I was supposed to do. And ever since then, I've hit on things.
Yeah, I remember the year before we were playing in grade school that we were in a band, and my girlfriend was keyboards. The other one wanted to sing, and I was like, well, I guess I'll play drums. And it was like just air drumming and all that. And then when it came down to it, I picked it again. And it led, I loved it. I couldn't stop playing it. I practiced all the time. And I did that all through college and high school. But in college, I saw I could make a living in orchestras, and so I started pursuing that.
Really young, my father was a drummer. I ended up dropping out of music school. And ever since then, I was doing, bands on the side, records on the side playing everywhere. And then eventually I took a job as a music teacher on the side while I was working in media.
I started playing drums about 10 years ago, started late. I started playing the piano when I was 6. So when I decided as an adult to form a band, I decided the piano wasn't cool enough for me and I needed to play a cooler instrument. So I learned how to play the drums.
I went out to California after earning a master's degree in music. And while I was there, I was doing a lot of session work. I did a lot of commercial and movie work. I'm the drummer on the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song. And while I was out there, I created a book called The Drummer's Bible. And then since moving back, I've been involved very highly with schools all around the East Coast area. The Drummers Collective, I've been teaching there for 13 years. I'm currently touring with Mark Martell of the Ultimate Queen Celebration. And I've worked with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, lots of different things, and I'm going to stop talking now, so there you go.
I love percussion. I played with the Woodland Symphony Orchestra for a season. I didn't return this season because I had a lot of work with live drumming, studio drumming, and also teaching drums.
My older brothers are drummers, so I did the brotherly competition thing, I played in a lot of different situations. I've been doing it for a really long time.
Well, my musical journey started when I was 9 years old, when I discovered Phil Collins. From then on, I decided I am going to be a singing drummer. And that's exactly what I set out to be.
I grew up in North Philly. Every Friday night, anybody that's probably dope right now in Philly jazz or really soul, all probably hung out at my mom's house in her living room every Friday. Jam session. People bringing all these instruments upstairs, drums, keyboards, horn section, like everything. I wake up in the next morning and I remember all these rhythms and, Mom, can I play? My mom had 2 drum sets in the living room.
And I couldn't start playing the drums because I wanted to play when I was 8. And my parents wouldn't let me, and I had to wait till I was 15. Not that I couldn't, it's just they kept giving me other instruments to play. And then when I finally got to 15, I was like, no, I really, really want to play the drums. And my father said, okay, but you have to take lessons first. I said, sure, I'll do lessons. And so he signed me up for lessons, and I've been doing it ever since. I've actually been really only playing the drums about 3 years, and then I went to Berklee in '74. Now at Berklee, I pretty much was about the only female in my classes. There might have been one other female sometimes, but all the classes are usually the only female. It's usually me and 21 guys.
I was actually on my way to register for my 3rd semester of school, and as I was walking down the steps, I got a phone call, and it was from this guy that had found me online, and he said, hey, congratulations, I have an offer for you to join this band and go tour Japan in December. So I went, my first tour was an international tour. So I did that, joined that group, and yeah, it was great. And now I'm primarily Instagram drummer, so I just post covers and videos. Videos, like, they don't have to be so serious, and I try to bring that, not necessarily humor aspect, like as if it's a joke, but just to show, like, be yourself, because that's what people want to see.
I've been drumming since I was about 5 years old, so about 10 years. Did I cover it right? So I played in a band called Metal Shop primarily in Dallas, Texas. We play all over Texas and Louisiana, about 120 shows a year. I also have an original band called 49th Vibration, and of course the Breast Cancer Can Stick It band, which we play a bunch of fundraisers throughout Texas to help raise money in the fight against breast cancer.
I was in choir class. I went to a very traditional Christian school, and we had to take choir. And so I was watching someone like air drumming to a piece of music, and I'm like, that looks really fun. So then I asked my parents if I could play drums. I was obsessed with it. I went through 10 different teachers in the first 2 years. I started teaching after a year of taking lessons the entire time. Then it was my goal going out of high school to go on tour. So I toured for around 6 months, and we played schools and little smaller venues. It was a van tour. And so I got kind of tired of that, and then came home, took on 40 students from one of my old teachers. He was getting out of teaching. So he basically gave me his entire Rolodex of students and said, follow up with them and get them signed up for lessons. That's where I met my business partner. And then kind of the rest is history. Over time, we just kind of chugged away developing Drumeo. Work is what I'm running Drumeo and Guitario and piano. What I do for my hobby is I still play drums almost every single day, just because I'm still obsessed with the instrument, and I still am super passionate about learning and getting better.
Simultaneous to my performing career is my teaching career. I started teaching right away. I'm a professor at the Berklee College of Music. I'm doing a lot of Skype lessons with people around the world. Since technology came into play, but I also have a lot of people who come to New York to study with me. I think I just had it inside of me. I took piano lessons as a kid. I really didn't enjoy it. My mother forced me to practice a half hour a day. I resented that. A friend had a drum set that I became familiar with when I was 12. And before that, I had a cousin who had a single snare drum and a single cymbal. I think probably was maybe 10 years old. And he would be playing snare drum and then hitting a cymbal. And I was like, oh, that's the greatest thing.
I was about 5 years old when I started taking piano lessons, and then moved to classical guitar when I was 8. And it wasn't until I was 10 years old that I was introduced to my first snare drum. That was my babysitter, Mary, brought it over to my house. And I fell in love with it first I saw it.
You know, I can't remember a time in my life when I didn't want to be a drummer. Like, I didn't get a drum set till I was 14, 15, but I was kind of drumming on things like my whole life. When I was a toddler, 3 or 4, like one of the first memories I have is like listening to the Beatles, listening to AC/DC, like Aerosmith, all my parents' favorite bands, but just like really being very fixated on rhythm and drums. And just thinking it was the coolest thing, and that's what I wanted to do.
Do you like drumming?
Yeah,
Why did you take up the drums?
because my sister played piano and my brother played guitar, so those instruments were taken.
What do you think is the easiest thing about drumming?
All you have to do is hit stuff.
I think it's just, for me, the drumming is the energy and just that feeling I get. It's I get like a high that I don't with anything else, and I'm so enamored by the instrument. I love everything, everything that comes with it. I don't even know how to describe. It just gave me that, and it just makes me keep going and going.
Drumming for me made me feel really powerful as a female. I love the power of drumming. I just love it. And the subtleties of drumming, the expression, the beauty, the eloquence, everything that you have to possess to be a drummer takes a lot of grace and takes a lot of power as well. So, I don't know, it just makes me feel pretty hot. I just want to drum forever until I'm old and grayer. Yes.
I love the energy and the physicalness of it. I feel like it's almost therapy for me because I did go through a lot of like rough things as a child. Definitely when I started, it was like a release for so much for me.
Drums to me are the most fun instrument that I have ever played in my entire life. They are an instrument that lets you just unleash total joy. They're just so fun, and it's the best thing when you see people grooving with you in the crowd. It's like the greatest feeling.
I like the feeling I get from playing drums on stage. I mean, no matter how many people are there, the power, I mean, drums are my second language. I just get such a power from it and that I can't really explain, you know. I'm just like, because I'm very antisocial, I'm very like introverted, and you know, I don't talk a lot, or if I'm around people I don't know, you know, but if you get me on a drum set, like, I will show you.
There's nothing better than seeing a little girl, you know, standing in front and watching you play, and she wants a drumstick, and, you know, next thing you know, her mom comes up to you and says she wants a drum set. She wants to start playing drums, you know. And it's just kind of neat that, you know, if I can inspire, you know, a little girl to, you know, whether it's a hobby or she makes a career of it, I think that would be pretty cool.
When people walk, there's a tempo. When people jog, there's a tempo. When people speak, there's rhythms. And the first beat, of course, is the heart. You know, when you're born, the first thing you hear is that baby's heartbeat. You go, boom, boom. We start the groove in life.
Why did you want to do drumming instead of like guitar or piano?
Well, I play piano too, but when I saw a drummer, I just wanted to play that instrument.
What do you want to do with your drumming? You want to keep drumming?
Yes.
What do you think is the hardest thing about being a drummer?
I think the hardest thing is just to, like, sometimes to understand what you're playing and just go through.
It's basically how I can speak the best. Yeah, it's who I am.
For me, it's like when I'm practicing or as I'm locking with my bass player or something, I just feel like I'm in some sort of meditative state. I am so relaxed when I am behind that kit. It's the whole letting go and expressing yourself that it's a release. It's a release. Release of, it could be anger, stress, love. It's just expression, and that's how it makes me feel.
I really like the idea that you're in control. Like, the drummer, in my opinion, is like the most important piece of a band because they keep the time and they keep everybody together. Also, it's a lot of fun.
My name's Alexis, and I'm 11 years old.
What do you like about drumming?
I like just to hit the drums, and
Some of the things I love about drumming, for example, is just like the passion. It's a great way to get out energy, the rhythms. I love drumming live, so I really feed off the energy of the audience.
I love playing with new people. I love sitting in with people I've never played with before. It's kind of like the session work. It's a challenge, and it really keeps you on your toes, and it makes you always be thinking in new ways and new directions.
I have literally seen drumming change kids' lives for the better and adults' lives for the better. And I've seen kids that were like not the norm kids, you know, the weirdos that don't really have a lot of friends, and then they go to school and they drum for their class or something like that, and then all of a sudden they come back and they're like, Miss Jen, all these kids at school want to talk to me, and you know, it gave them confidence, and it made them kind of popular a little bit, and not so the weird kids in school. That part is what really makes me love what I do and keep doing it.
I don't have an answer why. I've loved it since I was a little kid, and I can't even tell you why I love it.
Drumming has given me an outlet to express who I am. Fun fact, I never used to talk, ever. I was the kid in the corner that sat there with their little iPod with their earphones, and then I started tapping on my desk in high school, and my teacher would yell at me. She's like, stop tapping. And I was just like, I'm not doing it on purpose. And she goes, go join the band.
You know, the thing that I like the most about drumming is it's like the most freeing thing. It's the freeing part of my life. And it's also really great for cardio. And it's also good when you need to let off some steam.
I enjoy learning, and the fact that there's like an infinite amount of things that you can learn. You never quit learning with this instrument.
Girls, happiness
is a hair flip away.
Chapter 2. Female drummers do face some challenges. Their comments and stories describe how they've overcome these challenges.
Just relax. The drummer's here, and she's a girl.
Look at your hair, looks so cool, man.
Glowing red right now. A piece of gray in there.
Glowing red.
Hi, it's Conrad Apiece, and I've known Colleen for a long time, and she's really a great stewardess. She's a kick-ass drummer, even though she's female. But no, she kicks ass. I'm only kidding. Don't take that serious.
It's okay, Michael.
She's a great drummer. She plays with Jim Green, sings with us with Drum Wars. I've seen her play, and she rocks. She rocks. And she hits hard. That's a good thing.
Colleen rocks. She's been playing with the Hair Nation band for many years, and hits the drums super hard. And she's the technical aspect is she's more of a straight, power drummer. Does a great job.
Thank you.
There you go.
The hard part about being a female drummer is being called a female drummer. It's unfortunate that people come up to me and the number one comment that I get is, wow, you play like a guy. And I'm not really sure how to take that. It's like, oh, are you telling me I'm good because I play like a guy, or is it because I don't play like a girl? Like, what is that even supposed to mean?
It shouldn't be so like, oh, cool, you're a female drummer, like, holy crap, like.
So are you a singer? When I answer, I play music. And when I go, no, I play drums, they go, oh, you play drums. That's one thing that always amazes me, I must say.
You're perceived differently, treated differently.
I think at first it's definitely becoming more of a thing, but when people are like, oh, so you're a musician, do you sing? I think that's the stereotype, or like, oh, you must be a girlfriend of someone's. So when you're like, no, I'm a musician, but I'm also a drummer, it's like this wow factor. They're like, oh, holy shit. So I'll get that sometimes. The other thing I'll get too is like, oh, shit, that's cool. Can you play? So you kind of get a mix of like, you're not just a singer, and then, oh, like, can you actually play?
I have to say, as late as last night, you have a well-meaning gentleman who comes up and says, wow, you do a man's job pretty good, girls. Yeah. I mean, like, it's unbelievable. Like, you almost can't even speak. You can't even speak to that because it's so outlandish.
I get a lot of, oh, are you the singer? And then I'll say, no, I'm the drummer. And that's when I kind of get the look like, oh. We open up for, Hair Nation opens up for a lot of national bands, Bret Michaels, Firehouse, Skid Row, all these, 80s bands that tour. And we've done a ton of shows opening up for these guys. And, I always feel like the drummer of that band will stand on the side of the stage and just kind of watch, for a few songs. And it's nothing but compliments after. It's like, wow, you're really good. But like I said, there's always that, oh, you're a female drummer, we got to see how good she is. It drives me nuts because, it's not about how good you are. Nobody's better than anybody.
Oh, you're really good for a girl. Oh, you're loading in the drums. Is your boyfriend the drummer? You get that question a lot.
One guy said, man, he goes, man, that was really good. He goes, man, you're a female drummer. That's awesome.
I get you're good for a girl, but I get you hit so hard for a girl. People don't think women are strong, so when a strong woman gets behind the drums and just beats the crap out of them, it takes them by surprise. And
the whole Hit Like a Girl contest, I gotta say that I hate the name of that contest, because Hit Like a Girl, what? I don't like that. Everybody's always told me growing up, you're so good for a girl. Boy, you hit like a guy, or whatever. You know what? I play drums like a drummer.
We're all walking into the club after we went to get food, so the doors were open, and the guy's like, yeah, we're the band, and he walks in, the other guy walks in, and I walk in, and he's like, whoa, do you have a ticket? And I'm like, I'm in the band. What band? Like, the band that you just let every other member go through? Or I'll get stuff like, why are they making you carry all the gear? That all the time. Security guards, like, girlfriend's gotta pay.
Well, once they see you play, I'm sure they're like shitting in their pants.
Yeah. And then like afterwards I play, and then they're like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing gigs since I was 16, so it's been, I'm either the merch girl or, you know, when I go on stage, and I especially when I was super younger, like I was just like either someone's girlfriend or the merch girl, or, you know, they were just very confused. But I mean, after I played, they got it. They were just kind of like, oh, okay.
I remember going in, the band director saying, "Do you want to play?" And I was like, "Play the drums." He was like, "How about the flute?" And I was like, "No. How about the drums?" And he's like, "How about the trumpet?" And I was like, "How about I go back to class?" And he was like, "Okay, sit down." And we went through some drumming stuff, and that's how that started. But it wasn't right away. He was like trying to steer me to something else.
I remember I was studying at this special summer program, and I was studying Indian music. I was studying the mridangam, and the teacher would not teach me. He said, no, you have to sing and dance. You're a woman, you do not drum. Oh, I was just so angry about that.
Sadly, I mean, people usually don't take me seriously. But yeah, I mean, a lot of bands have, you know, not wanted to open for us, or, you know, my band. There's another girl, and she's 19, so it's like 2 girls on stage, and they refuse to open for teenagers, or venues like, oh, it's a bunch of little girls playing, you know, like no one takes it seriously.
Sometimes it's hard to witness, you know, the comments that people get solely because they're female.
It's rough in this industry, especially being a female, and especially being a female drummer. I feel like it's a very male-dominated industry.
I do get treated differently as a drummer, like usually from bar staff or like the venue staff, you know, and then I'll come to the bartender or the door person or whoever's running the show, and I'll be like, you know, do we have any drink tickets available for the band members? And, you know, 9 times out of 10 they'll say, yeah, but only for band members. I'm the drummer for the band, so can I have a beer, please?
When I first started playing, I was the only female percussionist ever. Like, I would go to clinics and I would be the only one in the room that was female. When I got into orchestras, I was the only female. It's very, very rare.
When you ask me to talk about female drummers, to me, it touches in my life personally, because I come from a long family of musicians and none of the women were mentioned. Like, culturally, a lot of men, macho societies did not allow women to play instruments like drums. In fact, they did not allow women to be in show business either. So I really felt that was unfair. So when my daughter said, I want to become a singer, I said, yeah, not only can you become a singer, you can become one of the best singers and do anything you want to do. And she started also playing percussion.
I don't know if it's a different generation or the music that I'm doing, but I don't normally run into a lot of other women, which is unfortunate.
And I'm grateful to see that that's changing. That the first moment when my mom and I went up to the table to sign up to play drums in band, my mom says, we're here to sign her up. And the guy across the table says, well, girls don't play drums. And my mom said, well, this one's going to. You kind of change minds one at a time. At least that's my experience. You get to change one person's mind about what women are able to do or girls are able to do in the field of music.
Ever since I started as a drummer, it has been a challenge. Every time I've picked up a pair of sticks, I've had to prove myself as a drummer. Every time I'm in a room playing with a band, the majority are guys. I've never played in an all-female band. I kind of want to see that dynamic, but playing with guys, or even not as a female playing drums, I've had to prove myself every single time.
There's so many like different clips online and in Instagram and stuff of all these women playing, and they're more sexualized. They're more just stripped down with like, their boobs out, or they're wearing heels. And I don't want to bash them. I don't want to bash female drummers, because we all should be together and we should all be trying to do it. But sexualizing yourself like that, and if you can't hit a drum, not hard, but like, this is to play drums, not sexualize.
The only time I've been told that it was expected of me to look a certain way was in this the female cover band I'm in Fembot, and it wasn't something that I was against. Like, we're all females, we all decided that we were gonna like kind of look glamorous and go for a certain look, and I saw it as like something that was fun. I really I enjoy looking, like kind of cute, or like putting on makeup, or like trying on new outfits and stuff and jewelry. Like I enjoy that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then that's your choice. Absolutely.
Right. So
you're not
it
told
was,
as, yeah.
It was different for me, but like I have to say, like if I was in like if that all male band told me, you know, you need to look a certain way, which they never did.
What I've seen of the female drummers that I teach who have a gift of going on to become professional, but I've seen the majority of the female drummers, they sort of come in as it's sort of this double-sided thing of not only just becoming a good drummer and working like everybody is as hard as everybody else is as a good drummer, but they're sort of also trying to erase the stigma of being a female drummer. And that stigma attached to it is a lot of the other things involved, not just being a drummer, but hey, how does she look? Or, you know, hey, she's a girl, or, you know, oh, she's got nice hair, or, you know, things like that. And I find them, because of that, working a little bit harder and really trying to sort of push themselves even more to erase that stigma.
Female drummer is definitely different from being a male drummer, but also I think it's different just in general to be a male or female in this world.
And so when you were younger and you were touring, 70s and 80s, I'm sure you were quite unique as being a female drummer. How were you perceived and treated?
It was always an unusual thing. Of course, the first thing out of their mouth is, I've never seen a female drummer. And I'm like, okay. People were, you know, had never really seen a female drummer. But I was doing now these really big country clubs where everybody was doing all this line dancing. And the DJs that were introducing the band before we would play were like, you won't believe it, but they've got a female drummer, you know, and I'd be like, okay, here we go. And so I was getting some recognition out of it, and they really were liking it at the time.
I think a lot of people don't think we can actually play. For some reason, it's been such a male-dominated field. So what that does for me is actually just it inspires me to work harder, practice as much as I can, play as much as I can, and then, you know, so I basically prove to you and show you every time I get on stage, I can do this.
I think that there is some merit to identifying women as female drummers because there's been a challenge that they've been facing and still are with opportunities. So what I don't approve of and what I am on board with my fellow drummer sisters is when someone says, oh, she's really great for a female drummer. That's just BS. You're either great or you're not, no matter what your gender is or your orientation or your spirituality or whether you're a meat lover or a vegan. You know, none of that matters. In my generation and probably a little while after that, you know, not all girls were encouraged to play softball or football or hockey or whatever, or go fishing with grandpa. That's for the grandson to do. You know, a lot of people just weren't brought up where all of that is okay.
Music is for everyone. It's not gender specific. No one plays music with their chromosomes.
You know, if you listen to any recording, you can't tell how old a drummer is or if they're bald or have braids or dreads or, you know, or female, male or whatever. There's nothing masculine about it any more than there is playing baseball. And I know a lot of cavemen can make the argument that it's masculine, but how does a sport or how does a musical instrument have any gender association?
You know, a good drummer is a good drummer, male, female, Martian, alligator. It doesn't really matter.
It's not really about like muscles, you know, that I don't think that's an impediment. And I don't think that there's any argument that can be made that your gender would make you less coordinated or something. That's just stupid, you know, like, I don't know how you'd make that argument. It doesn't make any sense to me.
One of the things I've always wondered was, why is there some type of distinction between women drummers and male drummers? We even go so far as to refer to them as women drummers. What's the problem with just referring to them as drummers? Because they are fantastic musicians. They play great.
Why would there be minimal women in it? I don't know, because they've got the beat too. You know, they can play.
It's still a little male dominated, at least in my experience with it. And certainly over the years, you know, have I been talked down to? Have I been treated differently? At first, yes. You know, are you somebody in the band's girlfriend? Are you, you know, the things that we always hear being in the industry. And it's very frustrating, but I think rather than have some smart retort back, I just would rather have my playing speak for me and kind of garner my respect via music, because when I'm playing music, I'm not thinking I'm a female playing. I'm just a person playing music.
Drumming is so one-sided. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think I would guess 95% of drummers are male. And so it's a lot easier to find a male teacher than it is to find a female teacher. And so it was just like more convenient. But then as I looked at our roster, I'm like, this is just a bunch of dudes on here. We need some, like, do we want more women to play drums? Yes. Okay. Well, then they have to see other women teaching or playing. Otherwise, none of them are ever going to start. This is what's inspired me to like really have to make a considerated effort into bringing in more girl instructors and female instructors inside of Drumeo. The reality is, girls can be just as good at guys at drums. There's really no difference.
Anybody could do it. Anybody could put the work in. So I think it's going to get better, and I think altogether we are going to beat that stereotype, because now people are saying to me, oh, like, what's it like being a female drummer? And I'm just like, I just love the drums. I'm a drummer. And they look at me.
Everybody kind of playing similarly now, female or male. And I'm so happy to see that.
Yeah, for me, it's the music that matters. It doesn't matter the gender of anything or anyone. Music is a human experience. Music is a human cultural experience. So it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman doing anything. Is it good? Am I entertained? Those are the things that matter. And it's a bummer that women have to try so hard to be accepted, or they have these things that they have to do. It's ridiculous. It doesn't matter. Does the music feel good? Does it sound good? Are you having a good time? And that's really all that matters. It doesn't matter.
I don't feel I have to prove myself, because I am myself, and I know what I can do. People that see me play know what I can do. So the proof is in the pudding.
And I truly believe that it does not matter your gender when it comes to playing a musical instrument. You know, talent has no age. And if you practice long enough and hard enough and believe in yourself, you can go anywhere.
You have to fight that, I don't want to call it depression, but the rejection thing. You have to fight that and get over it. You can't let it beat you down. Just keep doing it.
The paradigm is simply a widely known concept. And the paradigm in drumming is male drummers. And the women that are leading and breaking through in the drumming world today are showing perseverance and strength to make this paradigm shift happen. And they are highly respected in their industry.
You know, it's not based on gender. It's based on, you know, how hard you want it. You know, how much do you want it? How much work do you want to put in? Just like anything else. You know, if you're dedicated enough to it, you put in the time, there's no reason that you can't be great at it.
Sometimes people say, oh, you know, like piano is such a feminine instrument. Really, you know, guitar, I was told, like, you know, drum is more masculine. That's up here. Music is music. Men can play the harp. It's not just women. You know, there was like women play the harp and men play drums. I disagree with that. And so you can do whatever you want to do. Men and women can play anything they want to do. They want to play and become great at it.
Being a woman who's on the kit and not a man who's on the kit is an incredible opportunity to bring awareness that we are here and that we are amazing musicians, and we should be looked at equally.
More and more people are understanding that, you know, a drummer is just a drummer and a musician is just a musician.
We don't need labels. Come on. Play the darn music, girl or boy.
The other female drummers are saying this to me. There's a difference in the way women play drums than the way men in a band will play drums.
I think with men, maybe it's an ego thing. I don't know, and I don't want to piss any guys off. You guys are great, but at the same time, I could see it being more who can outdo the other, or let's show off, or whatever, and see how many fills and notes we can get in 30 seconds. And in my head, just like, you're playing for the music. You're not trying to outlast or outfill one another. And I think females, maybe it's in our nature, we get that more.
When I was younger, I probably thought there was a big difference, because when you're younger, you take the Neanderthal approach. You're whacking away at the drums and hitting them as hard as you can because you think that is cool.
And you're thinking, I'm thinking, well, if I see a girl do that, is she have the power to do that? But as you get older, you figure out that you don't need to be Neanderthal to have power, and anybody can do it. A girl just has to have technique, just like a guy. If you close your eyes and listen, and she's playing with great technique and finesse, you can't tell if it's a girl or a guy.
You see any difference in the play?
The only thing I would say, I can only use myself as an example. I'm pretty aggressive. I play hard, generally. That would be the only difference. I see them playing a little bit lighter, which really doesn't make a difference. If you're on a stage and you're mic'd, it doesn't matter how hard you're. Your sound man's going to take care of that. He's going to get the mix, and you're done. So what? She's still making sound, and it's still getting out the mains. Yeah, I really don't see a difference. They can do their thing. Absolutely.
And I noticed from my other female students and my daughter, they come in already more relaxed and limber. Guys, there's that stigma of the macho and hit hard. And my challenge as a teacher to some of the drum students is to relax and loosen up. And women already come flowing, and relaxed.
But especially now with the whole internet thing, and there's so many more women out there showing their stuff, and I now don't feel that it's any different. I mean, I don't know what it feels like to be a man playing, but I don't think, for myself, I don't feel any different, but I still might think that some men, have that thought that, it's a guy thing,
Chapter 3, The Present and the Future. The advice of experienced musicians is fundamental in the learning process. They offer many tips from their years of experience that can be applied by anyone who is interested in becoming a better player, a better musician.
If you have a passion for drumming, it can come to you really easily. And, if you really love it, then you should pursue it because it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
My advice is just have fun with it.
Don't stop. Whatever comes out of it, if you want to become the next female drummer or you want to become the next musician, just keep practicing, study. You'll never stop learning drums. Don't listen to all the negative stuff and don't hone that in and make it tear you down. Just keep going.
Passion and dedication to your art is key.
It's all about having fun. That's what I say. If you're not having fun, no, then don't do it.
My philosophy is that drummers, and I think all musicians, can learn a lot from each other's perspectives based on their unique experiences, and not just playing their instrument, but listen to your heart and just go for it and play drums. Everyone should play drums.
The best lesson I ever learned about drums was simply to listen to what is going on around me, listen to everybody and what they're playing. It's more of an active conversation when all the musicians are listening to each other instead of just playing against each other.
You should try it. If it's something that you feel like you want to do, then you should definitely do it.
Okay, so my one advice would be have fun always. Paradiddles are the best, but have fun, really. If it's whatever style you want to play that. Don't do the crazy. Do you. That's my one advice.
Don't be scared of doing a mistake. Just continue. Even if you do a mistake, just go through the song you're playing.
Learning as much as you can about as many different styles and genres as you possibly can.
I think one of the things to understand is that there has to be a separation between practice and performance. And we practice in order to perform. And the practicing is something that has to become a way of life for us. And I practice every single day. It doesn't matter what's happening in my life or where I am, I'm practicing.
Don't try to exceed those limits. Don't too fast. I'm not saying not to exceed your limits and not to push it. I'm just saying I'm trying to learn to run before learning to walk type of thing. It's about that journey towards the end results. And by the way, there is never an end result, because in drumming and any music, there's this constant learning. And it's as soon as you hit a corner, you go, oh, geez, I have these branches that are branched out. You could go anywhere.
Don't believe it's true that you can't do it. Don't believe it's true that you can't be one of the best in the world, because I think that the mental side of things is what holds people back the most, more so than anything else.
You can't expect immediacy in this business. It takes a long time. You have to form a lot of relationships, and you have to be very patient to build a business that really isn't there when you start.
People are like, oh, I don't have time to practice. Like, I work and I do this and I go to school. Well, if you're in the car, you're on the bus, and you're listening to music, you're gonna develop concepts of those beats in your head. And having those concepts in your head, it's gonna naturally come out in your practice.
To keep fighting, right? And keep practicing and lock yourself in a drum room like this and read through music and you know, play in every band you can and take gigs that scare the crap out of you, because that's what I had to do.
For women specifically, I would say no matter what happens on your journey, never get discouraged by side commentary, an attitude, a look. You do you always, and kick ass.
Never give up. Keep practicing. Just do it. And yeah, it's the best instrument out there. So there's no reason why you shouldn't.
And the whole idea is to go out and have a fun time. We live for this. We live for these moments that we're on stage and playing. And you don't go to a job and when you finish your job, you get clapping. Well, we do. They come up to you, they love what you're doing. Just go crazy and just push out all that energy.
If your passion is there, then you will be able to kind of learn whatever you want to learn and, you know, further your playing just because you're interested in it and you want to do well.
You have to remember why you're playing that instrument. You have to remember that it brings you joy. That's the reason you want to practice it 1,000,000 hours a day. And that's the reason that you want to play it with everything that you've got when you go on stage. And oftentimes get wonderful praise back. And sometimes it's a rough night. You know, sometimes the show won't go the way that you wanted it to. It can break your heart if you let it, if you go into it for the wrong reasons. But if you go into it always knowing that you're playing because of joy, then it will never break your heart, because you will always have that joy, because that's just within you, and you can always play the drums with joy.
If you feel it's something you want to do, just try it. Don't make excuses, because fuck the excuses. Fuck your excuses and just go for it, you know?
Don't let anyone encourage you. Don't let anyone tell you not to do what you want to do or that you can't do it. Just do what you want to do and have fun with it.
If you're serious about it, stick to it. That's it. Just keep doing it. Keep the attitude clear, solid, happy. You know, be that person people want to be around. That's very important too. And keep in shape, very important. Eating healthy and keeping in shape. You know, that's very important in this industry. To ask questions. The more you ask, the more you learn. Always have fun in playing and follow the click.
When I was trying to get into this sort of thing, I would do like 1,000,000 gigs for either no money or hardly any money. You know, like I would do rehearsals just to play with people I hadn't played with before. And I used to do sometimes 2 or 3 gigs a day.
For any girls or women who want to take up drumming, the big thing is just do it. Don't let anybody hold you back.
My first advice would be, it's never, ever, ever too late to start.
And that discrimination thing, like, don't listen to anybody who tells you, hey, you should learn that, you know, you should do this or you should do that. Or I never listened to the haters, basically. I thank my haters for giving me the passion and telling me I couldn't do something because I was going to prove them wrong every single time.
If you want to get great at something, you have to put in the time. The first thing is be great at what you do, you know, be so great at it that it's undeniable, right? Getting yourself out there, knowing people, you know, meeting people who are doing the types of things that you want to be involved with. And
if somebody's giving you a hard time about being a female drummer, it just makes me laugh. Usually it's the guy drummers that are on Facebook, they give the girl drummers such a hard time. They're not great drummers. They're a little insecure, so it just doesn't bother me at all. I would say build your skill set and kick their ass when you play.
So nervousness and stage fright, I put it the same because I identified some of the real problems I was having as a younger performer as stage fright coming from being really nervous on stage. And what I learned through the books and practice and the teachers is you gotta just own that stage fright. You're nervous, that's exciting. Everybody's nervous, but nobody out there wants you to fail. And so therefore, you just play because you have something beautiful to give and they want to hear it. You just have to say, I'm nervous, it's okay, my hand's shaking, I don't care, I'm gonna play.
I would say embrace your culture, your lineage, and where you're from. I would say don't settle for trends that are very popular. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Be authentic to who you are.
Don't allow people's comments and words and assumptions or gender settings. I don't know how far to go with all that stuff, but don't allow that to impede on your destination. Don't listen to any outsiders' opinions of you.
If you love it, do it. Don't let anyone tell you not to, ever. Many times I was told not to keep playing. And it still even happens today. Why are you doing that? You have this big corporate job that's really important and really good. Well, because it's a passion. This is what keeps me alive.
It's, if you love playing, you're having fun, you're not there to impress anybody, just do what you love to do. Just hit harder.
Surround yourself by people who support you 100%. Whatever it is you want to do, whether it's to be an oceanographer, whether it's to be a drummer, a tuba, an artist, a math teacher, an archaeologist, whatever it is, whether you're male, female, straight, gay, transgender, transvestite, whatever, do what this tells you to do.
There's never a wrong time to start drumming.
I will say this, don't ever think you're too old, too far, too, unskilled. Like, don't let anything stop you from your relationship with music, 'cause I feel like it can save you. I started a freaking all-girl band, when I was midlife. I never picked up a drumstick in my life. Like I said, I'd only play the piano. Like anyone at any time could do anything. I really, really believe that.
The things that I love to do when I rehearse is I'll download a track and I'll take the drums out and then I'll come up with different styles of drumming to play with that song. So I might download like a Guns N' Roses song and play like a country beat to it. Or I might download some other kind of a rock song and play like a reggae beat. And so I like to do that because you've got that constant click happening in that track and you can dance around and try different kinds of beats and things like that. I also like to practice playing left-footed a lot because that really helps build up my double bass drum playing.
Time. That's what I'm teaching my students. Just time. Like, feel it. I can't teach you that part. That's why you gotta go home and lock in with yourself. That's your lesson. Find your internal clock.
This movie profiles a small percentage of female drummers, but there are thousands of amazing, talented women of all ages, all around the world.
Have you encountered a lot of female drummers? Do you find that the numbers are changing or growing?
As a teacher, I find that the numbers are definitely growing. I've had some very talented female drummers come through my studio at the different schools in my practice.
Okay, so have the numbers grown then? How many female students you have enrolled in your program?
We do have a whole area. It's a community-run thing. Like, we don't actually run it, but it's called Women on the Edge. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Like, there was hundreds of women as part of that group.
What's kind of the proportion or percentage of female drummers that come through that school?
It's not a high percentage, but it's definitely a percentage. We're talking probably 10 to 15%. And I've seen it increase over time. When I studied there for about 10 weeks in 1992. And in our class, we had no drummers. So it's been definitely an increase over time, and I'm really happy to see that.
As a drummer, I've certainly been following quite a few women drummers over the years. These are just fantastic musicians who have just done a lot with their art and go out there and making things happen every day.
I'm a young drummer still, but 10 years ago, I felt like the scene in Chicago, at least, there were a lot less female drummers than there are today. So this trend is it's getting better for us.
I would love to see more female percussionist drummers out there. I would love that. I love going on Instagram or Facebook and seeing people in other people's bands and following them. I don't know them, but just the support.
And especially for the younger generation too. I've met a lot of younger girls. They're like, oh, I want to sing and play guitar, and I think they feel like they look up to certain artists who just sing and play guitar, but when they meet other female drummers, they think it's the coolest thing. And then when they start seeing us play, it's like, oh my god, I want to be a drummer. And I've gotten a few emails and messages before where some of these parents, I guess they've seen, or their little girls have seen me somewhere playing, and then they'll send me pictures of their kids playing drums now because of me. I'm like, that's what it's about, you know? Like, that's one of the reasons why I want to do it, is to inspire, like, the other, like, younger generation.
You know, I think it's really important to empower women to drum. And now, 20 plus years later, there are so many women drumming. It's really wonderful to see. The journey is beautiful, and how we learn and grow. And it's just really great to see today how many women drummers there are out there.
There are more females coming into drumming in general now than there ever have been. I know I've got some female students that have started, and I think it's great that they're hopefully not going to experience the same kinds of things that we've had to over the years just kind of deal with.
One compliment I get a lot actually is, you know, we'll play some family-friendly shows, and I will have little girls come up to me and say that they want to learn the drums because they've seen me play, and that is a huge compliment, I think. I'm really excited that I could possibly inspire a new crop of female drummers to start drumming.
One of the special reasons we've connected, Angela, is because you are a big supporter of female drummers. And
I am.
This documentary is about female drummers. What is your feeling on that?
Female drummers, really, I think they're great. They're so tight-knit group, and they support each other, and like everybody should support local music, and the female drummers really have a passion for what they're doing.
Every time I see a girl drummer, there's so many of them that I see on my Instagram. It's amazing. So it's no surprise that there are more girl drummers that are amazing and touring with major artists, and that didn't happen too much in the 50s or the 60s.
And if I can do anything to help inspire another woman to pick up those sticks, girl, let me at them.
I'm looking for a change. I hope that we can learn from these women, share their stories, share their experiences, and be inspired to take up drumming or to continue drumming, and to spread the word. This is just the beginning. The future is female. High school hallways, backseat kisses, drive-by crushes, basement wishes, scattered pictures that always made me smile. Nights of passion that never end, tears for fears, simple minds, endless time to share our crazy dreams. Take me back to sweeter days, take me back to simpler times. 1984. Young and hopeful, young and bold, always sure we'd never grow old. How I long for those carefree days. Hold me close, remember our lives.